This is affected zone tactics. It is incredibly complicated. So let's start with what's going on here. So this is a military shooter theme, modern military shooter theme, and how you control everything, how you go about playing the game. Is that it plays actually incredibly similar to XCOM. So as you can see here, that's my character that I'm moving around this battlefield, right? And I'm dictating where he's going to go with the mouse, and I get to move it around cover, and that cover will show me how well it's going to protect my character's health. So that's how you pretty much go through controlling your character. And there's also, you get into the more advanced things like throwing grenades, guns, and we'll get all of that into that soon. So basically, this is I'm pretty sure it's almost entirely multiplayer based, so there's next to no single player. I think there may be some tutorials, but past that, it's all about this multiplayer aspect. So I'm playing with, I think two other people. Yeah, two other people. Even though it shows up as three other people, one person's controlling two soldiers. But I'm just controlling one because I'm a noob. I think with more experience, the game will say, okay, you're experienced enough to control two people, but until then, it's just the one. So, just like in XCOM, we're kind of inching along here, behind cover, and firing at the enemy when they present themselves, or when they're out of cover, or whatever. That part is actually not that great. The thing is that you can shoot well beyond someone's cover. So, for example, that guy Afonso that just moved behind that bunker, or whatever it is, people can still shoot at him and damage him, unlike in XCOM where it's next to no hit chance. The thing is that every shot is going to hit at least a little bit, I think is the case. And the more you're out of cover, the more damage you'll take. So the goal, like this dude's saying right here, is to get into that flag zone and then hold it. So in that case, it's kind of like a domination game mode. But of course, you don't want to just rush right out there because you're going to die and you're going to lose a person. So just like in XCOM, and I'm going to keep comparing to XCOM because XCOM, there's tons of titles across the years. Very popular series. I think most people should know generally what's going on with that. And this game is incredibly similar to it. So much, in fact, that the reason I like this game so much is because it's so much like XCOM. So it's not necessarily a bad thing to basically be more or less a copy. I don't want to call it a copy because it's not really fair. They're two distinctly different themes and general play styles, but it's very similar. It's kind of like an XCOM light, I guess you could say. But the big thing is that it's multiplayer based. So I'm going up against human players over there. I'm going up against Bus01. No, Bus06. I'm sorry. So I'm going up against two people. Looks like two different people. Yeah. And oh wait. No, okay, I don't know. There's like these eye icons and it looks like maybe that's the actual people. Anyway. So this match is gonna be a little bit slow because I was still learning the controls. There's a pretty big tutorial that you go through initially, which I did. And that was really slow paced, so I didn't want to show that. So I got right into a match against human players. It's kind of like I feel like it's a great game to kind of play your turn out and then go back to like a second screen or alt tab or whatever to something else. So it's kind of neat in that way that it controls well and has this very tactical base, but you don't have to have 100% concentration on what's going on. So right there, I'm going to be shooting this dude, doing a lot of damage because he's not in full cover. And I pretty much have a straight shot. But at the same time, I am not in cover. I thought I was in cover, so maybe there's something a little buggy going on here. I'm pretty sure I clicked up to that cover, so. This game is wrong. I'm right. I don't understand what's going on. And it looks like there's even a flag at the far point, which is strange. There's some weird interactions, like, as you saw there a moment ago, it looks like they ran out of vision and the whole game, like, slowed down or something. It was very weird. So I've also got to reload, which is weird. It's a mechanic that's not necessarily interesting to put in. So there we go. I'm actually in cover this time. There's so many options to go through. So I've got my health pack. I'm going to be healing up a little bit. And that pretty much skips my turn. You have 2 actions per turn, so I used one to move and then the other one to heal up. And this dude walking up on me, and like I'm just gonna let him get away with that? Are you kidding? Are you kidding, Zellini? Come on, man. This dude's about to get popped. So as you can see there up on the top left, it's gonna cycle through all the turns. Should be up here next after Momoki, but that guy's already dead, so not a whole lot I can do to that guy. Outside of the actual gameplay is a client that's very similar to like World of Tanks, and all those kind of those war games. It's very complicated, like so much so that I don't even want to touch on it. It would take way too long to go through all of it. But basically, there's like all kinds of weaponry and characters and leveling and menus, so many menus. I really hate clients like that, but oh, just to make it clear, this is free to play. It's called, what's it called? Affected Zone Tactics. Kind of a weird name, doesn't really make sense, but it's pretty cool. It is a pretty cool game, I gotta admit. It's definitely nice to see games. How do I say it? Like, not necessarily like copy what's good, but you know, take inspiration from and make their own product. This is what this company has done. They took the great control of XCOM and translated it into this multiplayer experience. It's really well done. It definitely has those indie aspects. It kind of gives you that feeling, you know, especially when you're going through the tutorial, because it's all lined up like you're trying to test out mechanics of like you're a game dev. It's kind of lined up like that, but it gets through. You get through it fast enough. It is very complicated, especially if you haven't played XCOM. That's something to kind of worry about. You probably won't be able to get through a tutorial and playing and download it and everything in the same sit down session. Will probably be over the course of probably a day or two. But you know, sometimes you can't just always have that game that's pick up and play immediately. It just doesn't really work like that. And I've barely scratched the surface of what my character can even do. Like, I'm pretty sure I've only used movement, gun, shoot, and like you see there's like a burst, there's long shot, there's single volley, there's so many things. And what that does is that it changes I think it changes your accuracy. So if you're up close, you want to use the burst because it's going to do more damage. Or maybe it fires off more bullets. I'm not entirely certain what it does. But basically, more damage, less accurate, moderate damage, moderate accuracy, and then high accuracy, low damage. The 3 different gun modes. And I'm pretty sure there's also different kinds of guns. Like, I'm sure you can get like a sniper and a mini machine gun or whatever. And there's also grenades. I haven't really used much of grenades. I've actually, it has a really weird interaction. Like, you throw it, and it like bounces, but only to one square, and it bounces on a single square. It looks very strange. I'm guessing it blows up cover, but I think I used a grenade and it didn't do that, so I'm not actually certain about that. But anyway, we should be winning here pretty soon. We do have a pretty sizable lead. They never really got to the. I happened to walk across the point, and that pretty much put our team in the lead. So there it is, we won. And look at this. There's just so many numbers, so many stats, so many menus. So it's very intimidating. I have no idea what's going on here. I'm like, click out, just click out. I don't care. I don't know what all of this is. And I'm like, nope, I don't want no trading. I just want to keep playing because I was actually having quite a bit of fun with this. So yeah, very intimidating client that we've got here. There's research, clans, recruiting, maintenance, ranking. There's just premium, buy gold, exchange gold. You have all those icons on the lower right. You have all those icons on the lower bottom. There's free slots. There's other slots. There's a squad. Oh my gosh, there's just so much. There's training, and there's a very small help menu up there in the top left. Thankfully. So it's another 1, 2, 3 versus 2 to 3v2, basically. Yeah, so we're going to go through this battle real quick. Just give a bit more of a... I'm pretty sure this one's a little bit more streamlined than the last one. I was still kind of fiddling around with the controls. And also, I think the players I was playing with are a little bit slow too. This one's a little bit better. Surprisingly long load times, which is kind of unfortunate. It doesn't even go to like a regular loading screen. It's just kind of like, I don't know, loading. There's some kind of weird commander system. I'm pretty sure that's that is what tells you whether or not you are going to control one or two characters. So there we go. So I get right into it, sprinting across the field. I didn't realize if you use the cursor outside of the blue zone, it'd be a sprint, which is why I was a little bit slower in the last match, but which kind of goes back to like what I was saying, how it takes a little bit of time to really get up to speed with this game, and that doesn't even like get close to like tactics, like wrap around the back end, and just there's also a chat system that which you'll see here in a minute, but it's primarily Russian, and I don't speak Russian, so I can't really interact with my teammates too much. I do attempt to conversate, but it doesn't really, I don't get very far. And right off the bat, we already have 2 flags. We're already in the lead, man. That's how we play it. And right now, I'm actually, I'm 1 for 0 right now, so I got a 100% win rate. That's why you should listen to me. That's what I know what I'm talking about. And I'm already on my way to win my 2nd game. So the modeling across this world, it's very, like, World War II inspired, I think. No, actually, that's wrong. The first one was modern military, like Iraq or whatever. And this one gives me the feeling of World War II. Like little towns in Europe or whatever. But it's all modeled pretty well. It doesn't look especially great. I think I'm probably just running at standard settings. I didn't have any issues with any kind of like frame rate problems or loading problems. It's surprisingly very, very smooth experience. Usually with like these foreign games, these Russian made games, I'm pretty sure it's Russian made. But typically with these kind of games, I have problems installing. I have problems finding even the download. I have trouble doing anything really, and it takes a while. I didn't have to change any settings. I just got right into it and started playing. So I attempt to communicate with my teammates there, Tango on my Foxtrot. I have no idea what any of that means, but I've heard it in the movies. I assumed my team would understand what I'm talking about, and Foxtrot my Tango, but they did not. Excuse me. But yeah, this is a pretty great game. It's pretty great. I gotta say. Notably, it is a touch slow paced. It's kind of the thing when you're playing with other people. Oh yeah, so there's the Russian chat, and I have no idea what anybody is saying. So I just switch it back. I don't know what any of this is. Also, noticeably, this UI is a little bit cluttered. I'm curious as to if the option menu has some toggles to maybe shrink it down a little bit, maybe hide some of it, and stuff like that. And I believe I'm playing this in the window, so there's not much of a problem with, having it off to the side. So, I'm pretty sure I messed that up. I think it's Slack Biat or something like that, and there's some kind of Russian profanity that you hear a lot in like Dota chat or something like that, or CS:GO chat maybe. But I have actually no idea what it is. I know it's bad though, which is why I said it, because I'm a rebel like that. I'm rebellious. I rebel as much as possible. So yeah, I think we're pretty much done with this. It just goes on and on and on, and we eventually win because we're just great like that. But that's Infected Zone Tactics. It's a free-to-play game. You can find the download link in the description. It's a pretty neat title, I gotta admit. If you're a fan of XCOM and you want more of a multiplayer, modern military experience, it definitely hits that pretty well. So generally, pretty great. But that's it. Thanks for watching.